of the youths that were abducted, including Kibet Bull himself, they have been released. And thanks to all those who have been raising their voices in the media, in various platforms to ensure that these people have been released. Now, we are happy to say that all of them, none of them has been killed so far, except the person who was found dead, and that was a very sad incident. We hope that it is not abductors who killed him. Now, from where I stand at this point, I want to say that amongst all these other people, the one I feared for his life most was Gibet Bull. But to my surprise, he's the person who looks very strong than any one of them. So that is encouraging. This spirit of Gibet Bull is what needs to be in all other people. Though he looks a bit scared as well, but the fact remains that he looks a very strong man. It's really encouraging. It's really encouraging. Now, on my side here, I want to say that it is good he's alive. He's alive because Kibet Bull has a knowledge that he needs to use, not just for William Ruto's criticism, but also for other things, because making those cartoons and moving them around, I mean, that kind of innovation, it's really nice. He brought some bit of criticism that nobody really expected, and that really gave William Ruto sleepless nights. I think if Kibet Bull will stop, probably William Ruto will be so much relieved, because that kind of a knowledge is really difficult to deal with. No way you can counter such kind of a person who understands you and then brings out things that can really speak exactly what Kenyans are thinking. Now, however, I want to speak about abductions here today. We are lucky that they were not killed, and probably could we have been kept? Could we have kept quiet? Could we have not been vigilant enough, knowing that these people have been abducted? Could their parents not being able? I mean, could their parents fail to come up and say their sons and daughters have been abducted? Probably, or maybe could there be no CCTVs or maybe witnesses? Probably these people could not be there. But we want to ask the government in very simple terms that abduction is not the way to go. Make it clear that there's a law, there's a process. If someone has done something wrong, he's taken to court and then charged according to the constitution. That is very important, because we need to encourage a scenario where the law is respected, and it cannot be disrespected by abduction. There's nowhere the law says abduct this person unless he's in serious situation where he wants to cause very serious danger. And of course, the police know which circumstance. But you can't tell me a boy was going to M-Pesa to withdraw money, or maybe to buy something from a shop. A boy who was left home to go to a clinic, a kinyozi, a gentleman who is just making silhouettes or maybe cartoons in his house. This person is so much seriously a dangerous person that he needs to be abducted in such a way that it happened. So in a nutshell, I want to ask our police officers to be so much vigilant. Now, meanwhile, we want to say that it could be beyond the Inspector General of Police. But the Inspector General of Police must be very careful on what he says. There's no way you can tell us that the people abducting Kenyans are not police officers. So that means these are criminals. And what if Kenyans decide to have them and kill them while doing their operations? And then as a result, we have cases like shootings or maybe killings happening. It is not fair to make such kind of statements. However, I want to thank the church in this kind of a scenario. The church has really played a safe control. You know, when the church came out and said that let the Inspector General of Police resign, and of course the DCI boss, that is when the release of these people was intensified. And it is very important. That's what we want to say, that the church, you have a voice. And that's why we're encouraging all denominations in this country to be at the forefront to protect the rights and freedom of most of these congregants. Because the congregants are equally Kenyans who depend on the church for help. And the help that the church should give, it's not only prayers. Some of them, it's this kind of guidance to the government, advice to the people, caution, and you can give counseling. We cannot assume that leadership is not part of our lives. Politics is part of us. And we have to, all of us, play a role that will be able to do what? To change the Kenyans' lives. It's important, because we don't need to go to abductions for us to be stopped from posting and criticizing the government. So the only new thing that William Ruto said is that now we are not doing it physically, we are doing it online. And it feels like the only best way to deal with this is abduction. However, we can't forget that Raila Amolo Odinga, when he was also making his demonstrations across the country, we had that happened, including attempts to kill some people. In fact, we even realized that one of the cars that was carrying the media people, it was broken into by a certain police officer, and then this police officer directed tear gas towards it without caring whether it was hurting somebody, whether it was going to kill someone, whether it was going to do anything wrong to an individual. That was very wrong. We cannot have a scenario of that kind. So these things we've experienced across. Therefore, I wonder why Raila Amolo Odinga has to wait Kenyans to shout, to voice their concerns that loud for him to see that people are getting abducted. He could have just stopped William Ruto from abducting these people. But anyway, we thank God that these guys came back home safe. Now, looking at what is happening, probably most of them come home while they are scared. And this means very well that there's a lot of torture. Like Billy said, I think it was Billy, that there was a lot of whipping, being beaten to stop some of these things. This kind of whipping, it's not good. Take these kids to the police station. They have 18, all of them. Let them face the law. Let them face the law. The whipping was also done to the brothers who also kidnapped for 3 months, almost 3 months. That was another scenario we don't want to see. Now, we don't want just abductions to stop. These civilian police officers who come to the streets wearing masks, that one must also stop, so that we can have a scenario where we are having police officers who are ready to be identified because what they are doing is right. But a scenario where we're having police officers come out in masks, what is the intention? What do they want to do? What do they want to do? We need police officers who are ready to be accountable for what they're doing. It has to happen. So the Inspector General of Police, you are not there to defend crimes. You are there to defend the people of Kenya, the citizens of this country. You need to protect each and every person, not through protecting or fighting for abductions to go on in this country. We have so many things happening so far. We have robbery taking place all over the country, and we have accidents right, left, and center. The traffic police not doing the best, corruption all over. Nana has abducted all these policemen. So we want to see justice in this country, and we want to see the police officers who are professional. But I want to say that in this sense, William Ruto, the backstops with you. We want to see a scenario where we don't have these abductions in the country. We don't want to see you being related to Moi again. Now it is time for you to stay and observe the law, and most importantly, respect the youths of this country, because it is not fair a youth is abducted because of simply raising the voice. Thanks to God, Kibo Kibet Bull is alive, Billy Mwangi, Mteti, and all those that were abducted. And the person who has not been released, we want to ask his release immediately, so that at least we can have all youths at home to do whatever they're supposed to do. See you for next videos. Please make sure that you subscribe.